Guess that score?
15.
This picture is a kind of a cute picture. It kind of tells a little bit of a story. We don't know what they're looking at. We don't know why they're so happy, but it does. It is exposed well. So, oops. And but it does kind of tell a nice little story. So we don't know all about it, but it's not too bad.
6-year-old smile. $16.
Once again, another fun kind of family shot. Someone's child, grandchild, whatever, is absolutely adorable. But in terms of an artsy kind of impact, it's not quite as strong as some portraits we would see.
Nuptial glow. $17.
This is pretty interesting. Yeah, I like the effect. I just wish it would have been a little lower, maybe, so it was coming from behind their bodies a little more, maybe. It's hard to, yeah, the faces are really blown out. But it's a really good idea. I really like the radial zoom there.
Only one more.
Did everybody vote?
Yep.
We don't have one for one.
One.
Is that me?
No.
No. 18.
This has an interesting effect with the border around it, showing this old-time attitude with this picture. I feel like we have two subjects because the glass is so far away from the bottle. If we had maybe a third item in there, you'd have like a triangle working. But with the two objects, you're going back and forth. But it's a nice idea.
That's amore. $16.
Well, I have a bias towards underwater photography. I love it, but underwater photography is very much like above water photography. And when you've got any animal subject, you really want to be able to be, you want to be more onto him. And here he's kind of heading out of the picture. He's kind of looking out this way, and it takes us out of the picture. And I understand more a yield behavior, but it would be stronger if he were looking right at us or coming, if he were more in his hiding hole.
Orchid.
Did everybody vote? We don't have one for number 2. So.
21.
It's a really nice image. I like the dark background. It's nice and sharp where it's supposed to be, and the little buds over here in the lower right-hand corner really add a lot. Like Patty said before, you get the three distinct parts of the image, and you kind of circle around and keep going back. Very nice.
Curvaceous.
Did everybody vote? Because we don't have 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
I voted twice. I liked it so much I voted twice.
But we still don't have anything for 2.
On 2.
No.
My light's off, that's why. No.
No.
How'd that work?
Okay. 20.
Now, I know this is supposed to, our assigned subject is supposed to be taken with a flash, and so you took this picture with the flash, but your flash isn't strong enough to get the whole image in, and so we have, a lot of this subject is gone, and I find it a little discouraging that we have so much of it not lit. I think your subject was too big for the size of your flash.
Sunset apple. $19.
Beautifully exposed image where it's very obvious that the flash was here versus the other one. The flash completely lit the subject very uniformly, and the background is beautifully exposed in relationship to that, so technically very great. Impact-wise, having this dead center leads to some lack of impact.
Dancer. $21.
Really nice image. Well posed, and the background with the streaks of light running through it really helps her pop out from the background. Very, very nice.
Illuminated by water. $18.
We have a image that has impact with the lights on this, and it is compositionally, it looks pretty good. I don't see your flash effect, but you know, maybe it's just a little fill flash you put in there. We have a little more at the top than possibly we need. Maybe we could have filled the frame a bit more with the subject.
Do you think it would have been stronger if more of the reflection could have been included?
Yeah.
Like getting the bottom reflection?
Yes.
Okay, little help with that one.
Area.
Thank you. $22.
A real fun studio type of effect with Photoshop or whatever you've done here. This part of it is very well done, except you have this just touching here, which is compositionally not strong. Also, you have this that takes us out of the frame, and it really doesn't hold us into the frame well the way it's done there. You've got one tiny thing here that's just lingering that takes you over there. So an excellent idea that's well exposed, that uses the flash, obviously, that needs, that would be strengthened with some compositional elements changed.
Sacramental oils. $25.
This is really nice. The maker really used the stained glass behind, must have been behind her to the side to her advantage, really incorporated it in the little case of oils. And nice reflection on the marble too. Really well done, really very nice image.
Portrait class. $23.
The exposure on the young lady is pretty good, though she has very deep shadows. And if you used the flash on her, I can see you used your portrait studio flash. I'm a little disturbed by her darkness on her left-hand side. And I don't think her pose is very feminine either. I probably would have turned her a little bit in the frame and maybe brought her shoulder forward. She's kind of square in the frame.
Balloon flower. $13.
Unfortunately, the image has several flaws which detract from the beauty of the flower. One being they're out of focus. And when you have flowers that aren't moving, and hopefully they're not moving at too high a rate of speed, you really need to be firm on a tripod, even if you're using a flash, and it needs to be dead on in focus. The other problem is the flash, when you use a flash, there's a lot of tricks to it. Just flashing it doesn't necessarily give you the image. I mean, here you've got this center area is lit, and you have these guys all lit up. So you really don't want lit. That's lit up. You're not diffused enough with your flash, and plus having the metal here really detracts from the nature of that.
Rosy daffodil. $24.
Yeah, this is another nice flower. You can see where they used the flash, but you still have real nice detail in the whites. The trumpet of the daffodil is nice and sharp all the way around. It's a nice angle. It's the main part of the flower is in a nice spot. It's well composed and put together.
Azalea. $22.
This has impact. The color of this is very impactful, so that draws you into the image. Our stamens and stuff that are in the middle are in the middle, which we didn't particularly need that part at the top. I think I may have cropped that down from the top a little bit, unless you really did like the yellow stuff up there. But I think the color is what draws your eye into this picture.
The Venetian Mall. $22.
When you're doing an assigned subject, having something like this that doesn't really show any use of a flash
That was indoors.
Okay.
That sky is ceiling.
Right,
It's painted.
right.
It was
But
very
you didn't
good.
flash that.
Yeah, I did.
You flashed that and got the
I
sky to light like that?
Yeah, it lit everything up. I bounced it.
Okay. I stand corrected. Beautifully exposed, excellent composition. You've got these great diagonals here. This guy looks great with him. And to be honest, I thought I was looking at Venice.
A fly's nightmare. $22.
This is pretty good. I like the angle of the spider. The flash picked up a little bit of the web, not a whole lot. It almost looks like he's just floating. Light's a little bit harsh back on the abdomen of the spider. Pretty sharp though, not too bad. I like it.
It's my birthday. $15.
Cute child, nice to look at, pleasant. Your flash really lit her up. To the point of boom, and that's the expression on her face. So, besides that, she's a very cute child.
Crystal Glow. $18.
Once again, in a studio shot, you're in control of everything, and in that case, you want to be in control. You want your image to be totally sharp, and there's a softness to this glass, which I think is probably not there in real life. The wood here, the wood grain detracts from the beauty of the glass, and you've got that going across the top, which you need to really want to crop right about there. And the other problem, as Patty said, is anytime you put an image dead center, you just don't have the energy to give it the impact that you would necessarily want.
Splash of lemon, please. $29.
This is pretty cool. It has a lot of impact. Captured the water droplets in dead air, and they're not above they're not centered in the frame. They're off to one side. The grapes, everything just looks great. The reflections are nice high key. Very good.
Wrong way.
Did everybody vote on that?
Everyone voted.
Okay.
18.
I don't know why it's so
I see why you were drawn to these flowers. The color in them is beautiful, and you have a nice sweeping line that goes from the left to the right. I am disturbed by you cutting off so much of the flowers up at the top.
Beautiful malachite. $26.
he looks like he's ready to just jump out of the frame. I don't get a sense that he's over flashed. I mean, there's just a very nice, soft light here, but enough to know it's flashed. Dead on exposure, dead on focus, and there's the eyes here really draw you in.
Through the glass.
Can you guys just keep hitting them until
19.
I'm not really sure what's going on?
This is a pretty interesting image. Has a lot of impact. I think it's kind of caught in between not being sharp enough and not having parts of it that aren't blurred enough, or at least for my taste. And it's kind of bullseyed a little bit too. I think if you'd have put the center of the vortex off in one of the corners, one of the rules of thirds, it would have been stronger. And it looks like a sun.
Nebraska 1820s lockup. $16.
This is a nice record of where you were and what you were seeing and what you were doing. Photographically, it's not strong enough to be in a competition at club, but I can see why you were drawn to it. It does have some interest.
A babbling brook. $13.
Water is a lot of fun to shoot, but here you run into technical dilemmas, and that is that your range of tonality is pretty broad. You've got dark all the way up to hot, but the tonal quality of the image is very, very singular. Nothing really pops except these bright areas here, and everything overall is just very bright. What were you going to say? Hey, I'm just giving you my thoughts. I mean, you can say it. The other thing is that you kind of have this big tree here that becomes a center point of interest, but it's the babbling brook that's supposed to have a stronger area. So things like working on exposure, maybe using a polarizer, HDR, something to maybe tone it down a little bit, give your midtones a little more pop, and a little more interest to the water.
Crystal. $29.
Yeah, this is great. Great impact, great lighting. Composition-wise, it's spot on. Just love the way it's lit. It just and the black and white version really. I'm sure it had the crystal probably had more color in it, but the black and white version really does it. Yeah, it's nice.
Manhattan in 5 steps.